travel designation. You know, we as Africans born in the diaspora. I mean, you know, I really always thought my family came from Ghana. You know, because my father's side of the family looks very Ghanaian, at least the way Ghanaian people look now. You know, but with my third cousin traced the DNA to Botswana.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was really... You know, I think that what energizes me is my passion. I mean, this is absolutely my passion. Not only sharing my music and my poetry and what we're about at UACC and planting seeds of volunteerism, but just, you know, being able to offer something to communities everywhere. I mean, that is my passion, sister. I have no doubt that that's why I was put on this planet, in this body, in this lifetime, is to do the work that I'm doing. So.
How did you guys meet?
Me and Sister Nedra went to the same grade school. I lived on 827 Greeley, and she lived very near there. So we grew up knowing each other. You know, our parents knew each other, all our siblings knew each other. You know, her brother was in my class. You know, he's an artist also.
Right.
Yes. So we rediscovered ourselves years after our relationship, our friendship, years after I had left the States, you know, because she's a quilt artist and I'm a quilt artist, you know, and she's been out to the center and did workshops, and so, you know, we're really soul sisters. As a matter of fact, I participated last year at the festival. This festival has been going on for more than 10 years, probably about 20 years, I don't know. Wow. You know, and it's like I said, an international film festival. They have a theme every year. They honor directors and filmmakers, and within this film festival there are a lot of activities, and one of them is the Women's Panorama, where, you know, there are workshops on things that affect women, not only in Tanzania. Zanzibar is a part of Tanzania. Okay. Yes, when it was Tanganyika and Zanzibar, then when they joined together in '61 it became Tanzania. Yes. So there's art workshops, there's workshops about raising children, dealing with HIV, all kinds of really, you know, topics that are relevant to the community, and it takes place not only in Stonetown, which is in the urban areas of Zanzibar, but it also goes out into the villages. There's films, they offer opportunity for filmmaking for women from the village. Nedra and I have done workshops there, you know. During the Women's Panorama several years ago, one of my art pieces won first place, you know. Yeah, you know, there's plays. It's really good. So this last ZIF is the shortwave section, Zanzibar International Film Festival. I produced the last evening music, and with Wanawake, Sautia Wanawake. And it was a lovely experience. You know, I've produced shows before, but nothing on that scale and a stage like that, you know. And it was women's voices. That was the thing, women's voices, you know, so, yeah. It's all one, it really is. It's just, you know, different expressions of the me, who I am, you know, and that is also a reflector of the Creator. You know, I'm always telling artists how we are so blessed, all people who have the blessing to express their creativity, because I think we're all artists in some way. But it's like some people are afraid of that, you know, because there's some power in being an artist, you know, and some people just don't want to claim it, even though it's oozing out of their pores, it's in everything that they do. You know, you gotta claim it. You got to claim it, and once you claim it, and this is something that we emphasize at our center in Tanzania and during my talks all around the world. Once you claim it, you get a sense of empowerment that you can pass on to other people. So that's important. It's our duty to claim it. It is. I'm telling you. I believe it. I believe in the power of art, sister. I've seen at the United African Alliance Community Center, which is our center in Tanzania, I've seen young people who all they've been exposed to all their lives is, you know, working in their parents' fields and, you know, doing the work that you have to do every day in a village when you're homesteading, when you're living a village life. I've seen them come to the center, because we have daily classes for youth there. And when they first come there, they're so shy and just, you know, withdrawn and just afraid. And when they pick up a mic, sister, and see the power of poetry and hip-hop, because hip-hop is huge in Tanzania, and conscious hip-hop all over Africa. When they do that, you know, or pick up a paintbrush or sewing needle or something, it's like their whole demeanor changes, because they get confidence, and that spills over into all aspects of their lives. I see it all the time. It's a formula that works, and this is why when I see all these art programs that are being taken away in America, this systematic taking away of this, you know, which affects our souls and all that, I'm like, But when I see situations like that, I look at the formula that we had as members of the Black Panther Party, where, you know, you see the needs in the community and you find a way to address those needs, whether it's breakfast program or medical clinics or whatever. And, you know, that's what we are doing at UACC in Tanzania, the same thing. So I see pockets of community here, pockets of youth in every city that I go to. They're doing this. They're starting their own, like, community schools, what we used to call freedom schools, even if they're in somebody's rec room. And somebody, people still say rec room?
Not so much, but that's fine.
Y'all know what I mean.
Yes, definitely.
You know, community gardens, these urban gardens, you know, so, you know, and teaching and taking it upon themselves to teach the children art, you know, and having these community plays and choirs and drum circles and all. So, you know, it's still going to happen. I'm sorry. It's going to happen, but maybe not on a widespread scale that we would like to see it. But you know, I must claim the fact that I've been confident all my life. I really have been, and I credit my parents to a lot of that, and the way my community responded to me and encouraged me, you know, in just about everything I do, especially the arts, you know. And I mean, I was on the honor roll every month. Is it monthly or weekly? Whatever it was, I was on it, you know, and National Honor Society. And, you know, people really supported me. And in that support, I gained tremendous confidence, right? Even though I used to be shy.
No.
MJ Pete reminds me of that. You call him Mr. O'Neill, but
Yes.
but to my ear and in the traditions that we live in now, if you say MJ, which means elder, it just sounds so much better. MJ, you can say MJ Pete or MJ O'Neill, and you notice I'm called Mama Charlotte,
Yes.
or Mama C.
Yes.
That's because all women of a certain age, or if you have children, are designated Mama instead of Mrs. In Zanzibar, they say B, B-I, like the famous musician B. Kidude. Okay. And you know, of course my parents instilled the confidence in me and my teachers and my community, but being a member of the Black Panther Party, sister, that just grew my confidence. And the fact that it was drilled into us in our political education classes that we are members of the global community, you know, and that, you know, we're not a minority, you know, which is also a thing that gives you a confident feeling. But the fact that I consider myself to this day a member of the global community allows me the confidence and the freedom to relate to anybody from any strata of life, you know, and that is such a freeing thing. You know, I was just speaking on that when I was receiving the Benjamin E. Mays Award at North Carolina State University a couple of weeks ago, and I kept emphasizing the fact that my Panther legacy, the fact that I am a Panther woman, has stood me in times that I really needed it. You know, in times of physical pain, I call on my ancestors and I call on that Panther spirit. That continues to give me courage. And you know, it's really something how when we first went to Tanzania, to Algeria, and I was pregnant. I was newly pregnant. Knew nothing about taking care of babies. Nada, nothing, And I was always of the mindset that childbirth had to be such a traumatic, painful, you know, almost terrible thing. I was really of that mindset, you know. When I came there, the sisters just embraced me. We had a daycare there. I started taking care of children in daycare at our embassy there. And I was able to naturally start learning how to take care of children. You know, Sister Kathleen Cleaver was there. I always joke with Joju, who was Brother Geronimo's wife, and who's the daughter of Kathleen and elders. I said I used to change your diapers, and I did. And it's ironic because when she gave birth, I was the godmother of their son. And it's even more ironic because I used acupressure on her. Now let me go back a little bit, So I was always a very good typist. So I would do secretarial work at the embassy and at our Black Panther embassy. You know it was an embassy.
No, I did not know that.
Yes, yeah. You know, it's facts like that I when I go on tour, I always speak on that. And what you were talking about, how the Panthers were depicted in a negative light in the news media, I always speak on that because some people, that's all they know. You know, it really is. We had a library there, and a book jumped out at me one day, and it was called The Lamaze Method of Natural Childbirth. I read that book. I must have been 5 months pregnant or 6 months. I started the visualization and the breathing exercise and the relaxation and all that, you know, and the sisters was helping me because just about everybody had children. You know, there was D.C. and his wife Barbara Cox, and of course Kathleen and Sekou's family, you know, a lot of people. So I was getting on-the-job training. So when it came time for me to give birth, you know, I had to go 60 or 80 miles to Medea. It was a Chinese-run hospital. All the doctors had on their Chairman Mao outfits, and you know, I probably had my little red book, you know, because Chairman Mao was just such an inspiration to us, and we always had our little red books. I still have the original one.
Wow.
In our library at home. So I'm doing the Lamaze Method, and I'm determined I'm not going to show any signs of pain in front of my Chairman Mao comrades, you know. And I'm telling you, it was a wonderful experience. And matter of fact, I was in such spiritual, I shouldn't say control, you know, whatever. I was smiling, I was walking up until the time I gave birth. I even gave birth on the examination table because they didn't believe I was ready. Same thing for my second child. I've never been in a delivery room.
Wow.
So I always tell young sisters, I said, please get a hold of either the Lamaze Method of natural childbirth or something. It will change your whole birthing experience. I have so much fun being a mother.
That was the next thing I was going to ask about, being a mom, raising your kids in Tanzania.
Yes.
And how do they go back and forth between the states?
Yes.
How was that experience for them, do you think?
You know, when we first started living in Tanzania, we were homesteaders, right? So as our children got older, they had an opportunity to help us build homes and work in the what we call the shamba in our fields, and learn how to milk cows. I mean, they had a village life like all the other children. I mostly homeschooled them, which was a challenge in itself. You know, I had all the teachers' manuals and all that. And remember, this was pre-internet. Our eldest is 42. And our youngest is 38, so, you know, you had to do all the lesson plans yourself, and, you know, even if you're not feeling well, you know, you can't miss those days, you have to be disciplined, you know, so that was really a challenge, but I did it, you know, and it was very, very rewarding also to realize that I actually taught our daughter how to read and write. I mean, you can just say that. Yeah, and you can relate to the triumph that you feel, and how they are just so strong in themselves, you know.
And intellectually aware.
Yes, you know. So I think that's mainly why governments, they don't want that to.
Exactly.
Yes, you know, they don't want that to be lawful to do that. Doggone it. It happened on a smaller scale, and I didn't go because at the time that we were scheduled to go, they were having some unrest, for lack of a better word. So I didn't go, but I do have a residency, poetry residency that I'm scheduled to go to in Shanghai in September, October. Yes, and I'm also supposed to go to Congo. The Congo it's called Mama Jazz, to work with some of the young sisters who've had very traumatic experiences there because of the war. There are some differences, the same differences. I think it's more class differences, the same that would be in Tanzania or anywhere. There are many sisters who you know, live well, but they still have community sensibilities, and, you know, they're into volunteering, and those are mostly the sisters that I work with and relate to, you know, in all communities. And that's something I always emphasize, that I think many people in Africa look at the world on more of an international level, you know, and are dealing with people from all over the world, where a lot of sisters here, it's like if you even work with people outside the African American community, it's almost frowned on, which I think is kind of old-fashioned. One of my poems is tribal wisdom, not tribalism. And it emphasizes the fact that, yes, be proud of your ancestral traditions and your ancestral heritage. I am, but don't let tribe get in the way.
Exactly.
And that's the way I feel. And again, that goes back to the lessons that I learned as a member of the Black Panther Party. In that we should strive to be a unity in the world, and that's really how I feel. But something else that I learned as a member of the Black Panther Party was, it's hard for me to appreciate abstract art, and I think that comes from the fact that we always felt that art should be a teaching tool. So I use my visual art, my poetry, my music, all of it as a teaching tool. I can't help it. There was a wonderful artist, a very well-known artist, and his name is Willie Birch, who I met back in the day, and he was telling me the reason I couldn't appreciate abstract art is because I never studied it. Well, I have tried to study it online, and it's just hard for me I know the colors make you feel a certain way. I recognize that, and the rhythm of the paint and all that. But to me, it needs to have a rhyme and a reason. That is the beauty of the internet. That is just the absolute beauty of it. And I wish we had internet back in the day. Our networking could have been just even more powerful. So, that could be where a sister could start. Look up the people in her own community and start like that, because like spirits always collide, and that means that the networking will always grow and grow and grow. And somebody can contact me too. They can Google Charlotte O'Neal, and maybe I can help with suggestions. Here we go. And somehow it makes me feel kind of free.